Okay, so I apologize for missing my live the other day. Yeah, I kind of got a little backwards in everything, but I'm going to show you what I'm planned on doing with my sublimated cup. This is a 20-ounce straight. We sublimated it, and Jessica got on earlier and talked about putting it in a bucket of ice water. And guys, it really helps the colors to pop. I absolutely love how vibrant this is. Okay, so the things we're going to use will be orange paint, a cup, and Mod Podge. Then I'm going to use this Georgia Peach, which is pretty close to the colors that are on here. And the reason we're using orange in the Mod Podge is so that I won't have to spray paint it, I'm hoping. So I'm going to start with making my Mod Podge. I may end up having to use another one. I can't get that one open. Now the color we're using is a platinum glitter from Puzzle Tumblers. It's called Georgia Peach. It's a really, really pretty peach color. I love this color. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I have a bird living in my attic. So that's the sound you're hearing right now, is the bird in the attic making lots of noise, making sure we all know that they're there. Lovely. I don't know how it got in my attic, but it's there. Okay, and now I'm going to make sure that it has enough orange in it. And the best part about this is I can reuse it. So I'm using the end of a paintbrush to stir, because it's all I have with me right now. But I'm just stirring that orange into the Mod Podge. And then in a bit, when I'm done using it, I'll put it in a container with a lid, and then I can reuse it again. Okay, let this sit just a sec and clean up my mess. And as you all know, I like to reuse my papers that I messed up when I sublimate. So I'm going to be using some sublimation paper that I overprinted. That's why there's stuff on it, but it's okay. I am not going to waste paper. It's here, and now we're going to add tape to it. This is 1/2 inch, so I'm going to put it on double, starting from the top. I love using tape because then you know you're getting your straight lines. Put a little doohickey on the end so you'll able to find it. Now I'm going to fast forward through this part of the video so you don't have to watch me do all of them. Okay, now I'm putting down the last of the tape, and one of the things you'll notice is that the spacing is the same here, and it'll be the same here because I took the tape that I put here and I moved it down, and so I shouldn't have to measure too much. So I'm going to do my last 2 pieces, and then we'll move to the next step. But it should all be about the same because each section has 2 pieces of tape going around, including the 2 that I used to make my sections. And I think what I'm going to do is, see if this will go any further down. If it will, I might add 1 more piece of tape at the bottom. Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add 1 more to the bottom just to make it all even. But if you'll notice, this is the same here, here, and here. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to pull these pieces of tape up, throw them away, and now I have even sections here, 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 and here. This section is the same as these, and then this one only has one, so it's a 1/2 inch, but it's okay. Now we'll take our Mod Podge glue that we made. Goodness gracious, those birds are loud. Paintbrush and our, pull you up a little so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to paint on my orange Mod Podge. Put a nice thick layer. And the best part about this is once this dries, you can put another layer on to cover up anything that you can see through. So it's okay if you see a little bit of the blue through it, because we're going to cover it up again. Once it dries. Made a little mess, but that's okay, because that's what I do. I make messes. All right, next area here. Again, all I used was painter's tape. I am going to reapply the glue after it dries, and that way it will cover up the lines through it. But I will tell you that it will be sooner than later, because you want to make sure you pull up your tape before your glue dries, because if you don't, it will pull the glue up with it. It just like putting glue on your hand when you're in school. It just does it. This is a beautiful peach color. After this layer, I'm going to go use my embossing gun to dry this and put another layer on. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch paint dry, so I will be back to do the next layer with you in just a sec. Okay, so now we'll add another layer of our paint Mod Podge, and you'll see that it is making that design disappear. Now, I'm not saying that the design is bad. If you decide you want to keep the design, you can. I'm just showing you that it is easily covered. With Mod Podge and glitter. Oop, got a big old bob there. Just like that. Go to the next line. And I love doing this on these sublimated cups because you can use whatever pattern you want off the internet and you don't have to go buy the vinyl. If you're already sublimating, it's good because you can do this for anyone who has a specific pattern in mind. Put my glitter back in. If anyone can tell what kind of bird that is up there, let me know. It is loud, that's all I know. last one. I'm not a huge fan of the Mod Podge method unless it's for stripes and I want really crisp striped glitter. And then this is what I do. I make sure that everything matches. A little bit of this one here. Put this away. And then we'll pull the tape and let it dry. And I will come back and we will Mod Podge. We will seal it. Then we will epoxy it and it will be done. Just like that. After I epoxy, I am going to add lines so that the lines are crisper around where they're meeting the cup. Then we will apply more epoxy and it'll be ready for its new home. So if you have any questions up to this point, let me know. Otherwise, if you are following along with me, get to this point, then let it dry, and then seal it and come back to this tutorial. Okay, here we are. I am back with the final part before we do our final epoxy. Remember what we did was we did a sublimation and then we separated it with our tape in these areas, and then we are applying finally our double-sided tape, and I'm going to be using Mystic Falls by Puzzle Tumblers. Double-sided tape is a lot of fun because it doesn't take a whole lot of sanding and whatnot to use it. Once it's on, you just take one side off and sprinkle your glitter onto the double-sided tape. Now you can get the double-sided tape on Amazon, several pieces. Choose your, go a little bit past. You don't want there to be a blank spot. And take this part off down here. You can get several sizes together. I think I got 5 sizes on Amazon all together, so that depending on what size I decide to use, but most of the time I use this one because it's the right size for just about anything. You can do whatever colors you want. You can do striped colors. I just love double-sided tape. And it's really great for making those final stripes to make your cup look crisp. We're going to do this on all of our lines, all the way around. Glitter it, seal it, and epoxy. If you have problems laying things down straight, I had someone suggest to me one time to use a rubber band. And you lay your rubber band down and then you can lay your vinyl down or your double-sided tape next to the rubber band, and it should be pretty straight. Just like this, what I was saying, I went a little too far. You don't want to do that. A little bit of my glitter travel. And crisp X-Acto knives make for really easy cutting. So make sure your X-Acto knives are always crisp and sharp. Last one. Very good. Okay, now we're going to do the glittering. This is my favorite part. Now, if you decide to do multiple colors, you always need to make sure that you do your lightest colors first, because if the dark gets on the light's not going to cover the dark. I had to remember, I wanted to make sure that I said it correctly. Do your lightest colors first. Unlike other times when they tell you you need to do your darks first, don't do that. With double-sided tape, you need to make sure that you do your lights first so that it covers up everything and your dark won't get it. Now the double-sided tape, it's got a piece of tape under it. It's sticky and it's got a piece of red star on the double-sided tape. That's not a good thing. Use this little doohickey to get that off. It's sticky. Once it's down, it's on there. So you need to make sure that you don't have stars everywhere like I do. I have stars here to celebrate the 4th of July and the cup I did recently, and well, it's making a mess. Okay, finally, we're going to use our Mystic Falls over the top of our double-sided tape. Just like that. And then rub it in. Make sure it's on there really, really well. And then use your brush to brush off any extra. And that's how we're going to get our final lines in without having to use vinyl. Vinyl's great, but if you really like sparkle like I do, this is perfect for it. Let me put this up, go with our next line. In fact, I might just take all of it off and do it all at one time because it's all one color, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. Pull all of your tape off. This is the one that I cut too short, so you need to make sure you get your tape on top of itself where you cut it, so that you're going to get all of the spot covered. I mean, you could lie it down like this. It's not a big deal. It is now stuck with a piece of tape under it. I will fix that now. But everything is fixable. Lay that down on top of itself. I love double-sided tape. It's really great too if you need anything for sewing, you've got it. Lay down a nice hem, but for things like this, it's great. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up all of my lines. And don't forget to seal, seal, seal it. Beautiful colored glitter. Mystic Falls. There we go. Rub it in. Make sure it's on that glitter, on your tape really, really well before you brush it all off. Missed a spot completely right there. I'll make sure to put into remarks below where I got my tape. Remember, always start with your light and go with your dark afterwards. It'll make sense the first time you try to do it and you do your dark and it gets on that area that's supposed to be light, and then you put your white or light color over it and you still see the dark glitter. And you'll say, makes sense now. And that is how we're going to do this cup. Again, I'm going to seal it, and then I'm going to epoxy, and you can put names in here or sayings or whatever, but this is how our cup ended up. And it all started with a sublimated cup. Go. I'm going to go seal this, epoxy it, and I will be back to show you how it ends up in my light box. So I hope that I taught you a little something today. You don't always have to start with vinyl. You can start with a sublimated cup and go from there. Add your stripes, and the best part about this is you can design your own background using sublimated cups from Puzzle Tumblers. Have a great day.